grading on a curve that traces dead fish on the
People still owe money. People still owe money. No. People still owe money. People still owe money.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Such a difficult decision. I bet you finally feel like you're home.
Right in the center where the haves meet. You were proud of incremental half speeds. You were getting down in the AOC dance line, hands tied, nodding to the backbeat. You'll Secret Service dive in front of any representative alive, being asked for the very bare minimum. And you'll turn into that same kind of hard right villain you detested should we mention they could ever muster maximum. Cause liberal denial's such a lofty ataraxia, where morals take a back seat, not up in the cab, but in hidden panels made by federal human traffickers. If you trust the autopilot, then you're just a sleeping passenger, passively accepting that it isn't us the bastards serve, making peace with all the evil walking on this rancid earth. Unity with those who bound your hands at birth, glancing up at fascists on a bloody dais thinking they just need a push. Not a holy man, but I'm praying for a burning bush. Yeah, I know you'd love to look away, but love, you need to look. There are many massacres the country manufactured that will never make the books. Now here's your fucking hook.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home.
Home on the range of excuses. Justify some fracking, water down pollution, paint a fresh coat of bipartisan charm over backroom collusion. Your consent is being manufactured by illusions, marketing executives in federal seclusion, working day and night to keep you just the side of lucid, and too beat down for calling out abuses. So fuck all these progressives who can speak on revolution once they empty all your powder out and spit on all your fuses. I prefer to judge a leader not by quality of tweets, but the six-figure book deals she chooses. Donors he betrays, and donors that he'd gladly take a bullet before he refuses. Slogans he reuses, buzzwords he produces, then he spews like mucus. Well, two can play at that. So here's the inner dialogue of every time I snap, and it's fine-tuned to ruthless, and saying politics are useless. Just a bunch of loose lips tweeting cute shit, power suits, taxpayer booze trips. Bunker at the ready when the shoe flips. And there will be no news clips. There will just be...
People still owe money. People still owe money. No.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home.
dry lips, brand new taxes, starving all the billionaires and neutering their Visa Maxes. Topple Congress off their axis, mobilize the homeless, give them axes, call it praxis. Chop a couple limbs off the legislative branches. We'll show you the difference between air as a human right and guaranteed oxygen access. Octogenarians who barely know what day it is are culling countless citizens while sitting on a dais made of ignorance that was built on the graves of the slaves made to labor for its self-declared significance. And all to build a Congress full of millionaires who make their fortunes insider trading while they shit on all the indigent. So I got a bone to pick with our leaders, and I'll start with the ligaments. Pick right through the muscle, dig the marrow out, and serve it to the unhoused millions living in their minivans or watching their belongings get evicted from their tenement. I have a dream where we breach the walls of Congress and just let them in. And what happens next will survive in only text, cause there won't be any evidence. There will only be that heavy kind of feeling that pervades a space where there has been a reckoning and you can feel its remnants. Let any man who enters seeking power know that those who came before him suffocated on their eminence. That there once was a seal on the wall, but we quartered it and scattered all the pieces that it might prevent its semblance. And so we end the great experiment. We'll take all your billions, leave you 2 coins for the ferryman. Leave you drifting on a Dutchman floating derelict among the wretched seraphim. For holy is the hand that wiped the land clean of those who pose as gentlemen. That's my time, honey, cue the thunderclap and strike the theremin. And so we end the great experiment.
They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. Gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. You are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains, bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph or Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren. Say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights. Forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near. And all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't, because we aren't.
What the? Hey, we're here. Hi, what's up? Oh boy.
It's been a month. We're having to get all this shit fired back up, and
All right, I don't
oil
know what
all the gears again.
Wow, something out of sync phase. I hit the thing when I first went live. I think that might have messed me up to begin with.
Must have.
Well, hi, Catstro's already here. We're in.
Chiming in. He's ready.
All right. This is Indy for all those who don't know. I know. That's my favorite lifesaver. That's right, Mad Mom. I still don't know what the heck I love you. I don't know what that notebook was showing. It was upside down. Now it was less blurry this time. I still don't know what it was. And I couldn't turn my head upside down, and I don't know, whatever. That's a little inside baseball thing. Because when on Sunday night, Mad Mom was watching, and she was inspired by something. She put a link on Rockfin to a tweet, and the tweet was all blurry. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "This is my notebook that I was inspired to write." That I didn't quite understand, so I want to at some point let her know. Anyway,
Twitter does the flip.
This is American tradition. Hi, I got this guy sitting next to me. Holy shit, it's Jesse. We've been waiting.
Holy shit, it is.
We've been waiting a month to do this damn show.
The universe has not wanted us to do this episode.
No, I mean,
powers that be have.
Literally, I think it was like the middle of August when you had something with your son was sick, Fox was sick, and then you got it a couple weeks after that, and then last week it was my daughter, and it's like,
yep.
Okay, I guess the summer's over, and now we're back to school, right. And so it's back time to,
for sure, back to school.
It's
another $3,000 hospital bill, just like last year, back to school.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's it. So after insurance was $3,000. Total charge was about $6,000. $2,100 of that was room and board, and we stayed one night.
Oh my God.
So that's healthcare.
Right, because he had a cold, right? Remember?
A common cold.
They couldn't
we
find
got our
anything
asthma
else.
diagnosis finally, but it cost us 3,000 American dollars.
Jeez.
Which, for those of you who don't follow me, that's more than we have in the bank. In case you haven't garnered that from
We have to go on a payment plan, folks. Yes.
Right. Yep. Luckily, they do that. So
Yeah. Well, they want something sometime. Yes. You voted for Obama twice.
For Obama
that's
twice.
that's
I know.
cold.
I did it to myself.
Bro, that is the coldest tweet. That's the coldest chat I've ever seen right there. Woo.
Affordable care act my ass.
Wow. Ouch. Yeah, nice Christmas sweater, bad cookies. Oh.
Thanks. So took my son to soccer practice tonight, and it was like chilly, like legitimately chilly out. And I was just t-shirt and jeans, and the whole time I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to get home and get my sweater on. Pop on a sweater, sitting on the couch, watching Full House. And I'm like, oh man, okay. I'm switching to a different sweater that's even more Norman Rockwell for the episode tonight. I was like, figure deep cuts, if we're really like marinating in hi there, you want to come up?
Oh, hi. What's up,
this guy? Look at this guy.
Wow.
I figured if it's a special episode, then we need the most Camp David sweater that I could muster, and this was certainly that.
Well,
so.
you got a tribal armband right on your chest. I love it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like a Jason Momoa Christmas sweater, only it doesn't make me grope kids.
Yep. Oh God.
harsh reality for the Momoa fans out there. Sorry.
Oh, dude. I just watched somebody's bubble burst in real time. Somebody's bubble's busted in real
My
time.
wife.
So yeah, folks, share the stream. This is like, share, subscribe.
Look at here's my guy.
Oh, look at him.
No, not on the computer. Not on the computer.
Hey, I know you love indie, but dude, come on. You know what it is? He's seeing this. He's seeing this. The spectralizer around my name. He's like, I want that. I want that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to smack that like it's a red laser dot pointer. Right. So tonight is Deep Cuts, which is episode 28. A dive into the vaults from the first record to the last, and then way back before the first. Surprises abound tonight on American Tradition. So we're gonna do some Jesse covers. We're gonna go through a Jesse retrospective. I think you talked about doing some of the stuff that you haven't done yet live. We're gonna try some new things that we've never done acoustically before.
Yes.
And I got some spoken word stuff.
And I might have to pull out like a new song. So I got a couple new things not recorded yet, but like written enough that I can do them acoustic. I was like, why not? So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's see, chat. Do we want to ease in or do we want to like rip in? How are we feeling for track one? We want a gentle drop in, or do we want to just get on some right up in it?
Let's go, Mad Mom, Cynic. What do you say?
My dealer's choice.
Cuts. Okay, we're not. Hey now. This. I thought this was a kid-friendly show, sort of. Well, maybe not. Saul Constructor saying raw.
This is a family show, Reed.
Saul saying raw. I'm down with that.
All right.
Fred
so we're
Edward.
gonna need to drop D. Woo, easy. We're gonna need to drop D for this first jam.
Oh, that's actually one of my favorite lit songs. It's called Drop D. Nice. We're gonna drop it down. The Dr. Seuss reading, balls to the wall, Jesse. No, we're not doing Dr. Seuss tonight, Mad Mom, but I love that stuff. My kids always ask, like, is Jesse doing another reading tonight? It's so sweet. It's so sweet. It really is. All right.
This was an early one for sure. This was really my first time getting to have a lot of fun with samples. And my first song to piss off people who were trying to vote shame me and trying to bully me into supporting Joe Biden. And it was super, super satisfying to write. And I think I did it acoustic on Facts on the Ground. You can see how certain of myself I did. Like I turned into Robert De Niro for a moment. I was very very skeptical when I said that. So yeah, without further ado, from the Virus, this is Scraps.
Throw your perception down to the ground and see it swallowed by the snow. Maybe the open mind is a void where nothing ever really grows. Maybe you're outside and I'm in the confines of what I know. But I lost my voice out here, and without it I am never going home. Never going home. Never going home. Our voices being stolen. Picture me, capital steps, my eyes swollen, carrying a sign reading we are being lied to. If healthcare for all was a full nude, Mitch McConnell's only giving side boob. Only waving promises to wake a little hope right in your face and then deny you. And so pardon me if I would rather burn my fucking boat to defy you. And I hope it makes you hate me, makes you feel like I'm just wasting any chance of bringing change. But I won't be complicit in what's brought us to this place, and I will not support us being further led astray. And I will not the color hearse that carries us away. The filth on both the blue and red makes each a sickly gray, and it sickens me to witness just how quickly we obey, how quickly we accept the meager scraps that fall our way. Scraps supposed to last us 3 days, scraps that barely cover bills that can't be paid, and scraps that couldn't pay for Nancy's chocolate for a day. And all the thoughts and prayers in the world can't fix it, cause I'm drowning in my thoughts and I don't fucking pray. And if this is where you tell me that's the problem, there's the door, pal, thanks for staying. And if Jill's right, all you have to do is just swallow, and you can play the game. In that case, Jill, I won't be playing. So how about you save and trade, Jake, chuck a fucking. How about you save your blame and try to change somebody who still doesn't know which way they're swaying? I won't vote for a rapist, that's all I'm saying. When they asked if I had any last words, honey, I did my impression of a spectator at Wimbledon. Back and forth, I hope that answers your question, you simpleton. So throw your perception down to the ground and see it swallowed by the snow. Now maybe the open mind is a void where nothing ever really grows. Maybe you're outside and I'm in the confines of what I know. But I lost my voice out here, and without it I am never going home. Never going home. Never going home. Never going home.
We made it.
We made it. We got through Scraps.
There were a couple potholes, but we made it.
That's solid, man.
So
that was off the
That's
Virus.
one of those riffs. Like I can sit and do all day, and then as soon as I start trying to speak over it, that's one of those where my brain easily diverts.
Yeah, I dig that one.
Oh, God. Speaking of the virus, oh Jesus, the virus. Let's
Eyelash.
stay there. Let's do Powder Keg. This song, it was so hard to get a really good sample, but there's this weird little high-pitched crackle on this song. That's the wind, in my backyard because there was this one day I'd been working on the piano for this song. And I went out in the backyard and there were just all these birds circling in the sky, like this giant swarm of birds just kind of riding on this air current and being super loud. So I brought out my mic and my phone and recorded them and compressed the shit out of that sample so I could get it audible on the track and have that just kind of going over Powder Keg. But Powder Keg was a sort of like a Me Too song from the perspective of the earth, of like Mother Nature trying to get rid of us, like man as a whole, like as an abuser,
puking us out. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so yeah, and I wrote it on that was on 4/20 of 2020, which I mentioned at the end of the piece too. So yeah, also from the virus, this is Powder Keg. Oh, I'm still on drop D. That's not gonna fly. It's gonna be like the Bjork version.
If women are the fairer sex, men must be the fouler sex. For when triggered, we undoubtedly have vocal bouts of Powder Keg. See, we designed the physical embodiment of liberty, and irony of ironies, we chose to represent it using feminine imagery being grounded. Freedom rooted to the spot, liberty without her legs. Because what does a man like more than a woman always carrying a torch for you? See, but holding it, you'll only want to touch it, and the flame will come to torture you. Some of us don't know what we do. Some of us swear that we don't, but of course we do. See, men are quick to fetishize fortitude. But God forbid we see it in a woman, or we're bent on destroying you. See, men are by nature competitive. Man is by nature becoming irrelevant. And after we're gone, we'll live on in the soil through only unnatural elements. I lost a bet with myself, cause my child was born in a world that still had a few elephants. See, man is a toxin whose washing to sea is no bother to me, and will hardly be seen with a shimmer of sentiment. Because nature has seen that we're all an impediment. And so nature is shaking us loose. Nature is digging us out by the roots, and it's all for her betterment. See, we pulled the cord on shedding so many species from the earth. Now maybe it's our turn to shed a bit. When I try to view it as karma for all of our slaughters, I feel a little calmer accepting my death a bit. COVID-19 is a precipice. Nature will push us or finally cave and keep paying our benefits. But we can't overstay our welcome and then try to bribe our way into extending it. If nature's saying time's up, we've been in the role of the powerful oppressor who needed to be held to a standard that was better, who is easily doubted if for no other reason than their power. But looking at our record, it's apparent we've a long unhealthy pattern of wasting what matters, of poisoning the seas and the soil of the pastures, the peace of the dark of the night. God, only mankind could make dimmer the stars in the sky and litter far corners with shrapnel of satellites. Cause more extinction than you could ever tabulate or quantify. So if we're up next, I'm not saying that it doesn't suck, only that we qualify. Have a great day, live an honest life, hold all your loved ones tight. Nothing's ever guaranteed, only that our dead will eventually be canonized. That this will go down as a war between insurers and those not willing to be sacrificed. That's my time. Now back to our lives while we have our lives. Captain's log for 2020. I'm an optimist as ever, but I marinate in too much truth to ever truly feel sterilized. Captain's log for 2020. Honey, that's my time. Honey, that's my time.
For 2020. For 2020. That almost like it's almost like 2020 vision, you know?
Oh yeah.
That puts that in my head.
Yes, I never thought of that.
Right. Plus, like April 20, like that is about the time I met Mona Carmona and started meeting people in the space in Discord and on Richie Bedhurst stream.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally talking about that today with JB earlier. If you didn't get to see that, I was on with JB yesterday on his channel. It was awesome. I had a great time. I love that guy. But he talked about, kind of tell me your origin story. How did you get into independent media and sharing independent news? And I'm like, well,
yep.
Richie Medhurst woke me up off the couch after Bernie. It was about that week, or maybe the week before, and he wake up, asshole. And Reef still has it on his soundboard right now. And JB's like, I remember that. I was like, dude, I remember that too.
Yep.
That's just one of those things that just like, oh, yeah, he ain't coming back. Dad's gone for cigarettes, and he's never coming back.
Yep.
And that's what I felt like with Bernie. Right. And it's like, all right, let's figure it out from here. What do we do? Time to grow up.
Oh, I'm a little nervous about this one, but those sometimes are my favorite ones in the end.
You always go touch and go, and then nobody knew that you were even touch and go.
Okay. All right, strap in, folks. We're jumping forward to everyone who disagrees with you as an extremist.
Nice. I was listening to that yesterday. And the day before it was the grift. I screen capped lyrics for the grift here. I was like, dude, how do you do this 15 months ago and write something that's so damn relevant to today and next week? I love it. Unbelievable.
Okay. All right, this is where's my mic? My mic is in front of me. A little closer now because it needs to be for this one. Charlie Mack in the house.
Charlie Mack is in the house.
Oh, super chat. Shit. Thank you, Sean. Seriously, thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Sean. Sean hooked us up on Sunday too. Thank you, Sean.
Okay. All right, this is personally one of my favorites, so I really hope this translates acoustic like it does in my head. So. Mother and baby on razor's edge. Don't give a shit what your paper said. Economy creeping up out of red. They divvy a shitty little bit of bread. And miles away from that lady's ledge, our senator wake and he's safe and fed. Ain't got a paper to read in bed. Jerking him off as they count the dead.
Gorillas in the mist, skin suits in the Senate, and water in the streets, chest deep like it's Venice. Water out a tap in Jackson comes blacker than resin. Comes black incidentally like most of its residents, which is why it isn't on your television, isn't on the lips of your president. See, I'm admitting that as evidence. I've been fleshing out a case to be made for the testament. I don't know what our collateral count is, but doubt it is less than the estimates. See, you just show us a hospital, watch as we dressed in it. See, our propaganda gets taken to heart, and you're scarfing it, like it or not. If you think that you aren't, I would urge you to pick that apart, 'cause you're drinking it, smoking it, driving it, dressed in it. See, we pay for it, pray to it, bathe in it, fill up the basin, and babies are blessed in it. Ask no questions, bask in the pestilence. You see, honey, when that plague goes live, you'd be wise to invest in it. See, honey, when that plague goes live, just between you and I, that's an industry sign that they're all done testing it. And come 2025, they will all be confessing it. And then a few small fry fall guys all fly from the precipice, who were doomed to be wasted like shell corporations, dissolving to vapor, then gone with the resonance, gone with the sense and the sentiments, gone with the dust of the remnants, gone with the ghosts of the regiment, gone with the families in Gaza whose bodies and homes are demolished when Israel sets up a settlement. Gone like your chance at a settlement, gone like the hope of apologies out of those funding our deadliest research and backroom development, gone like your shot at a measly "I'm sorry" from out of the mouths of our own bioterrorists. God, you cannot imagine the face of the monster, you can't even fathom the scale of the carapace. It is under your feet, but you're barely aware of it. It's been quietly judging the scope of your suffering, sizing you up like a therapist. Then it rides in your guts like a parasite, growing in size and excreting a culture that's purely embarrassment. That's equal parts Manson and Maryland, equal parts something we will push into madness and something we'll gladly exploit and objectify 50 years after it perishes. Carefully crafted and planned and arranged like a monarchy's marriages. Cousins or otherwise, scourge of the colonized, staged and displayed for the sake of retaining imperial barracks. And all to expedite a special type of anglicized dysplasia. The kind where half the world is waking up to learn they're being raided, raped, and robbed of all their heritage by Charles and his caravan of 30 servants' carriages. The kind where each in the procession is worth infinitely less until eventually they're paid in sums of crown-approved disparagement. These bonuses of shame until they're finally told to thank the highest-ranking inbred pig named the king of every single garrison. One who rose into the power all immaculate like Harris did. Well, now that garishness is melting down like paraffin, it hardens in a shell that shelters terrified and threatened royal terrapin that rule with zero question, although nobody elected it. Democracy was here till we dissected it. Democracy was here until the exhibition exodus, and the loss of that democracy is just a threat for those who've yet to recognize the scent of bait or know the taste of desiccants. God, democracy was here, and now the smear is all that's left of it. God, democracy was here, and now the smear is all that's left of it.
And that's Acoustic Skin Suits.
Dude, Acoustic Skin Suits. You got through it. I mean, you got through it good.
I was like, let's pretend this is a Tool song. It's 6 minutes. It's in drop D. I mean,
it did have a very sober type of feel to it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That same kind of tone. I'll have to cut that and send that to my buddy Dominic. He's a Tool fanatic. You know who else a Tool fanatic is Misty. Oh, she loves herself some Tool. Yeah, Craig, that was Skin Suits off of Everybody Who Disagrees With You Is an Extremist.
All right, now let's jump back just a little touch to The Grift. Yeah, this was a song, Indy, that you messaged me about the other day. And what's funny is I'd just been listening to this. So when I got COVID last year for Father's Day, well, actually right before Father's Day, and I was exiled to the guest bedroom and was close to finishing the Grift. And this was one of the songs that I did while I was sick. And I spent a lot of time trying to get the guitar recorded, and GarageBand kept fucking up, and I lost finished, like finalized guitar tracks probably 3 or 4 different times. I was getting super pissed. And finally, like, everything worked. One of the times I just straight up made a mistake and I hit the wrong thing and just like started a new thing and lost it all. It was a curse.
That reminds me like the Sesame Street, the piano player or whatever, when he keeps making a mistake and he bangs his head and bangs his head on the keys. Like, that's what I picture you making that mistake over, like.
All right. And this is another one I realized, like, I've never done acoustic or anything, and that's just ridiculous. So, actually doing a couple off of the Grift.
Sweet.
Real quick, I'm gonna sneak a little short one in here before Supersize. This is Echoshphere.
Ooh, false alarm.
False alarm, I thought that help was here. But it was my own reassurance bouncing around 100,000 times in my own echosphere. If every time you speak you keep it off the record, consequently you can keep your record clear. And if you mute the speech that shakes your frail belief, you only seek to insulate your image and continue down the stream in the direction clout and credit steer. Directly from your mouth into am I the asshole or at its ears. And directly back into the greasy pockets of some Gates Foundation financiers. And then directly back into the frantic final thoughts of early trial Neuralink volunteers. Staring at the numb and mumbling vacancies where recently had been their peers. Half of whom were glitching with a memory stuck on pause, and half have zero fucking clue just who they are or why they're here. It's been said that fear is all we have to fear. But that was back before the Bezos fear condenser came along. Distilling concentrated fear that's diamond pure, crystal clear, oppressor strong and woven into every single article you read and song they let you hear. And then Elon heard that Jeff enhanced our fear by 86% and he said, hold my beer. And not a single sheep among the herd would turn their head or say a word. Cause they were all too busy begging for the shears, begging for the muzzle. Happy just to guzzle, feed, and watch a screen for all their ears. Man, to each his own, can't afford a home, but they'll let you have your cozy little echosphere. Where there among your own devices, you can break the 7th seal, overthrow the oracles, and slay the seer. All the tomes were burned and all the lips were seared. Shut your eyes and all our lives just disappear. Now blink them twice. Welcome to your echosphere. Welcome to your echosphere.
Dude, I was wondering what that was going to sound like without the weird keyboardy sound. Well, it's not even keyboardy. I know, it's the crickets.
But yeah, it sounds like a synth. I mean, yeah, it sure sounds like a synth.
Dude, it sounds like, it almost
Very
sounds
Zelda,
like to me, it sounds like a pipe organ. When I hear that, it feels like you're playing that on a pipe organ.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, dude, that was sweet.
Okay, now a few tracks forward on the Grift. And we come to Supersize. I almost fired up the sample from this because it's such an integral part to it. Wait, so if you don't trust the CIA,
and
or you don't trust like our institutions,
then what do you trust? Then what do you trust? Oh, Well, the guitar, I mean, the piano right after that is just, it's so pretty. I actually texted him. So I was listening to this in the shower on Saturday. I come out of the shower and I texted him. I said, that piano melody is way too beautiful to waste on this fucking asshole. Like, literally was my comment. He's like, yeah, I know. I said the same thing.
Last track, I think I only blinked once. I skipped lunch, blinked twice. Christ, shut your eyes, now open wide. Fascists took the nation and inflation took a supersize. Now it's sad to say your teachers couldn't quite make the ends collide. But now you'll probably get to see them on the weekends doing Uber drives. See, lube it with a little oil. One, it tastes expensive. Two, you'd be surprised how well it helps you open up your throat so you consume the lie of human rights that was sold to you by suits and ties, designer scents on plastic men with patient fangs and ancient vice. You know, the kind of greed that makes a person lose the sight of morals, so it's easier to sleep at night. It's easier to ease their minds and pick a foreign people we can demonize. If you take a sec to sink into how war criminals think, you'll know you'd never want to see inside. God, if every man's an open book to look within, theirs are bound in human skin and not designed for human eyes. They are wearing human skin, but they can simply not be humanized. They aren't worth the lowest of the poor they swore to crucify. Holy sweet Geneva, there's a mass grave full of dead believers you called the police on because you don't believe in squatters' rights. You believe the sanctity of human life is relative to human worth in terms of work and dollar signs. So listen when I say you need to find the light of day before it's too late to apologize. Like holy sweet Geneva, here's a mass grave you could colonize. Cause you seem to love to talk about the spirit of America. But if you saw the spirit of this land's supposed character, I think that you'd be calling ICE. And I also think the actual America is truly represented by the call to ICE. Is represented best by the descendants of some immigrants, bitching about the immigrants, snitching on some immigrants, playing dumb and innocent like good little Christians as their neighbors get deported. Until they're screaming at the store cause they waited 20 minutes more because the staff was short. All because some ordinary bigot started waging war on immigrants. And we'll just keep deporting because like your first vote and each election since, it turned out that the man you were supporting ended up to just be twice the fucking bigot as the bigot that he wins against. And I was not among the herd. You see, a single word from Biden stirred a tingle in the cynic sense. I knew that a vote for Joe was more like Reagan 2.0. I could smell the sarin smoke that choked around the river bend. And so I spoke about a living end. About an anchor thrown to drowning men, a democratic president, a country never found again. A man who marinated in the blood this land was founded in. A crime bill that contains sufficient lethal ends to drown us in. And all written by a man who wears a crown of sins, who currently is sleeping in a bed of sins. It's no wonder those who truly understand the meaning of democracy are not too keen to let us in. It's no wonder other countries can't conceive of skipping meals or missing rent or being on the streets because you can't afford your medicine. That's uniquely American. And Joe has proved to be the most disturbingly American of presidents. So I shiver when I think of what's to come if he's the precedent. It's a wonder I can even function still to process all the rhyme through all the resonance. Bless my heart, I'm liminally reticent. Standing on a threshold of bone, ash, and sediment, near a faded marker claiming this to be the grave of all my sentiments. Exactly where I left them all and just how I remembered it. It's a wonder I can even function still to process all the rhyme through all the resonance. Bless my heart, I'm liminally reticent. standing on a threshold of bone, ash, and sediment, near a faded marker claiming this to be the grave of all my sentiments. Exactly where I left them all, and just how I remembered it.
Wait, so if you don't trust the CIA and our institutions, then what do you trust?
I love it. Oh, I love it. That was perfect. For a split second, I thought you found the clip, and then I was like, oh, even better, he's doing it live. We're fucking doing it live.
Fuck yeah, I'm doing it live.
Oh God, that was great.
And now everybody can clip me saying those words. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take out of context indie. Here we go.
Oh God.
No context
That's
indie.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah, fun here.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna grab.
But yeah, Charlie Mack. It was so much fun to be on JB and to talk, to shout everybody out and to kind of talk about the evolution of INN and how I've met a whole bunch of these incredible people and found all the, all this independent media to follow, to amplify, and then to start creating with all these amazing people. And the fact that I would be helping some of the people that I help now, if you told me that 3.5 years ago, I'd have looked at you and laughed. It's remarkable. And I'm very grateful for everyone and for the ability to do this and for all the people that I've met. And I know this is still just the beginning for all of us. So that's also really exciting to think about. So yeah, it was a pleasure to be asked to be on there. It's been a long time since he's been doing a show. It's the first time I've been on. So I was, JB and I are good friends for a long time. We just couldn't work out the timing, so we got to do it. Yay. No tank top Jesse tonight. By the way, there is some new merch. We do have some I'll do a single me. Hi everybody. There is some new merch in the Indie Left store, in the independentleft.shop website. Or you can also get there to innmerch.com and go to my shop. I made some stuff with the Indie Media Awards logo on it. I also made some stuff. Each of my kids, what I did was I used Canva. My kids were like all kind of bored one day, and each one of them I had come over and we designed a logo and something to put on merch for them with their name on it. And now there's a collection for each one of my kids with merch and the logo that they designed. And it was a great way to kind of get them involved and keep them busy and get them creative and thinking about design super early on. Greg, I know, is a big advocate for that, as is Reef. And Colin's like, dude, get them Canva accounts. So shout out to Care Bear. I don't know where Care Bear's at tonight. Love you, Colin. Thought he was in Discord. We're also live on Rockfin. I did want to mention we're live on rockfin.com/INN. We're live on rumble.com/C/Indie News Network. That's INDIE News Network. We're live on Twitch and Twitter and everywhere. You can pretty much watch Facebook. People are watching on Facebook now. Hi, Facebook. All right. Did you mute? Yes, he did. He mutes.
I did.
the
Yeah, I was just gonna.
I love doing that. I do that whenever you start playing. I mute my mic so that nobody picks up whatever I'm doing over here. I can sneeze and cough and fart and nobody knows a thing. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Sean Miller, that is really interesting about Caleb's potential sock puppet and how you deduce that. That's pretty badass. He came in and went crazy on one of our streams doing a whole whoever that person was went crazy on our chat at one point, or went on commenting on one video. They just got really upset about something, but yeah, for the most part, it's just interesting. But
okay,
let's do it.
So this song, this is in the folder I sent. This is the record. This never made it onto an album, and if I ever get around to like the compilation of unreleased stuff, kind of throwing it on one thing, this will definitely be on it. This is only on my YouTube channel. Doesn't have a whole lot of eyes on it. This was very early on. This was really the only, once I started cranking out political stuff, this was really the last thing kind of before like that. This was very end of 2019, like that winter, and I had kind of just gotten back to making some music, and I don't have very many kind of personal, I mean, I guess there's a lot of personal in some ways interspersed throughout my stuff, but other than like Blocking the Light, that's probably the closest to like a really personal piece. But this was me doing a mental health song, like just kind of, yeah. I love the piano on this, and I realized I've never played this before, and I still really love some of these lyrics. So this is the record. Now let the record show there are no morals, there are only lessons to be learned when you are staring down a precipice or hanging from a ledge. How can someone justify decisions that they made to everybody that depends on them, especially somebody who's too young to understand why you behaved the way you did or said the things you said? This is just a phase and I'll be happy when it's over. Call me Grateful Dead, call me anything you like, my name is late for bed. Early for the sky, which by the by I think tonight I'll paint it fever red with the delirium of wildfire imminence. And this will burn your mission statement down, melt your churches to the ground, and only sound the smoke alarm when it's too late to salvage any grace or scrap a charred deliverance. See, my holy path led me to fast, and slowly I degraded till at last I bit the bullet, and it didn't do a thing for me, so now I suck the filament. And if I see a dangling ligament, I'll probably stand in awe of it a minute, then I'll probably start gnawing it. In one sitting, I'll be eating and violently shitting all of it. Then make a tape and send it straight to Parliament, like I think I've got what it takes to step behind your armaments. It's like my mind just can't sit still a minute, ill-equipped or insufficient. Incidentally, I just can't remember having instances of inner peace, just never ceasing bits and pieces of some kind of self-defeating terrorism. So I don't need some sign to point me toward the light, I'm trying to find out where it isn't. The glare impairs my vision. See? As long as I have free will and I'm willing. And there's the rub, there's the part that always takes a minute. There's the part that I don't have the heart to try killing. The little part of me I'm done explaining and distilling. The part that you don't think is worth the paper where you print the billing. Incidentally, that's the only part of me I ever found fulfilling. So every time a bell rings, a wellspring dries up, and I just gotta keep drilling. Until it's lost the meaning, lost the thrill, or lost the feeling. Till I could spit it just the same, looking out across a crowd or staring at the ceiling. And I could spit it just the same, looking down into the ground, where I'd be bound to find some kind of healing. Lost my job at the casino, my superiors conceded I was pretty shit at dealing. But I had scrawled that on my resume, I guess that they thought I had a sarcastic way with what I say, or maybe I just fumbled an attempt to be endearing. It's not the first time, if you'd believe it. It's not the first time I crossed the line when in my mind I heard myself say, leave it. It's not the first time that my head was in my hands and I heard myself say, beat it. Where's that tape? Let it play, let the record state I think I got what it takes to finally step behind my sense of reason. Where's that tape? Let it play, let the record state I think I've got what it takes to finally step behind my sense of reason. And that's the record. Did I skip out for a minute? Did I lose? I feel like I lost connection for like a fraction of a moment.
For about 14 seconds. For about 14 seconds, right about the time that you were. Where were we here? It was like, I think that's my mind can't sit still a minute. I don't even remember. Like, yeah, no, I was like, okay. Let's just hope he comes back. So, okay.
Remix!
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have to kill the stream. Okay, we're good. We're good.
All right, let's, Bandcamp.
One time in Bandcamp? I had to.
Airplane Mode. Talk about another song that isn't on anything. That's just its own thing, like David Pumpkins. I'll always think like maybe this is the album I'll put Airplane Mode on, and then I don't. And I think at this point I might just like throw it on to the next thing. It's like, oh hey, bonus track that isn't really about politics. It's more just about the internet and fame. But
is that
I love.
You said it's not on an album, so what did you say to me?
It's on Bandcamp. No, it's just no. The lyrics for it's on Bandcamp.
Okay, I'm on Bandcamp, so
it's just its own. If you go to albums, it's its own. It's just the shot out of a car window.
Okay.
This was kind of a duel, like someone who's just feels the that constant pull to the internet, whatever social media it might be, or that that attention, and someone who's a celebrity who actually that is their job. That whether it's something you actually have to do or not, that you still feel that kind of pull to it. That people kind of find themselves feeling like a whole bunch of people rely on you to do this, to make this content. And what a trap that is for people that find themselves all of a sudden you're in this fame and this is something you have to keep doing. And that's kind of where this song came from. Might be my favorite chorus I've ever written. It's like, if I put it on, like stack it up against everything else, I score them upright, it'd be hard for me to find something that beat Airplane Mode. So yeah, this is definitely a personal favorite.
She said I can't turn my phone off, for the world stops and it's on my phone. And I don't go in airplane mode, cause they know when the flight takes off. And I thought I was born for the storm, but tonight I wish the rain would stop. I wish the rain would stop. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone. So love, I know I'm right, so I won't waste time to deny my doubts. And I just wanna know what's on your mind, but the Wi-Fi's out. And I know you were born for the storm, but I just need a break in the clouds. Just a break in the clouds. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, Not here, but I'm not gone. I think I'm the same as what I create. Gave it my name to speak for me. When it wanted a face, I showed it my face, as good as my face could look for me. I filter every smile, and I edit every day. I just cut and I paste. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, 'cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, 'cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone. And that's airplane mode.
That is airplane mode. Oh, beautiful. Oh, another $10 super chat from Sean. Thank you, man. Really. Thank you so much.
Damn. Yeah, we're sorry, Sean. We love you. Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
My DMs are open on Twitter too. If you need someone to talk to, you need someone to vent to, I'm always around. I offer a no advice plan where I just keep my mouth shut and listen, and that's really popular. So if you ever need, hit me up. Let's do a new thing. I posted the lyrics to this without any context a couple weeks ago, and they got shared around a lot, which made me feel really good. I wrote this on a right-handed guitar, and it feels weird to try to do it left-handed. So this is actually my grandfather's guitar that I was lucky enough to receive one of his guitars when he passed recently. And I was fiddling around on it recently and wrote this this little bit that turned into a song for the next record. I wanted to have something for this album that was just sung vocals throughout, especially near the end. I don't know if this will end up being the last track, but probably near it. But yeah, this I think I might need to send lyrics over.
Yeah, I only have Return and the record that you sent me tonight.
Let me see.
I'm looking at airplane mode. All right, so tomorrow night we're gonna have on INN. No, that's tonight. That's American Tradition. No, tomorrow night we are going to have INN News with Reef and Colin. Last night, holy crap! Crab and Chris had a 4.5 hour 9/11 truther stream. I don't know what you talk about for 4.5 hours about that, but they were watching documentaries. I was working on a bunch of other stuff, working on a top secret trailer for somebody. So you'll be seeing that, I'm sure, coming out in the next couple of days. And what else was I doing? I was writing some stuff. I don't know if you've seen, but I wrote a Substack article about them going corporate shit libby and amplifying the names that came out of corporate media and failed, and the reason why they're getting fired by all these corporate media companies. And then they're coming to Substack, and Substack's like, welcome, we love these people. No, you're the reason why Substack existed in the first place. They were trying to get away from these people. We built a home without them. And it's like, all right, now they're coming and they're living in my living room, and it's like, bro, I'm not celebrating the fact that they're here. Like, bro, come on. So
damn. Hey,
what happened?
Can you? Yeah? Is there anything else you can plug for a minute while I run and grab a charger?
I can plug plenty of stuff. Are you kidding? I'm the plug king.
Real talk. I will sprint. I will be back in a flash.
No worries, man. Let me go to just Indie. Here we go. So we also this week on Misty's been on TNT Radio. I do the Substack every day. Yesterday, who the heck did she have? She had a heck of a guest on yesterday, and then today she had JB Font on, or at least that was scheduled. So if you go to mistywinston.substack.com, and I can actually put this up on screen right now, even though you don't see Jesse. You've got JB Font. That was today. Yesterday, she had Halo Benson step in. We were going to have Keaton on the show, but Keaton's son is sick. Shout out to Keaton from Due Dissonance. His son's not doing so great. So luckily, Halo was able to step up and step in and help us out and fill in for Keaton. I'm sure we'll get him back on the show real soon. But every day, Misty publishes I publish with her a Substack article with here's today's guest, what time the show is, a little bit of a bio, links to find them. And then on Saturday, I'll share the INN weekly wrap up, which has a ton of Misty stuff in it. So if you notice that, she does appearances on Crosstalk and on Fault Lines and all those links are in here as well. So you can watch or link to them there. Then on Sunday, I send out a recap with a list of all 5 of the performers that had come on during the week, all 5 of her guests, and you can link right to listen or to read the Substack for that specific individual guest for that day, which also, of course, has listen back links and everything else. So we got that tightened up for TNT Radio. I think they really like what we're doing with that for Misty. So you can always stay up to speed on what she's up to. There was a Jesse episode about 6 weeks ago. He was on with Misty, so you can go back and always listen to that there as well at mistywinston.substack.com. So, all right, we got the grandfather's guitar strung up. Is that now strung upside down for a left-handed bastard like you? Is that?
No, it's still right-handed. So I'm just holding it backwards.
Oh, you're holding it like a righty.
Chording, yeah. So I'm still holding it left-handed. So I'm chording backwards and trying to strum up more than down.
Oh shit! How about that?
But what's fun is it makes me play like a little bit more lead stuff and a little improvise a bit more. The grandpa's guitars.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. My kid's better now. It ran through the house. Every kid got it last week, and it was ugly and gross. And thankfully, we're all good now. Everybody's back to school.
Okay. So this is maybe the second time I've ever actually played through this. Like once I kind of figured out all the pieces, I ran through it. But this is going to be on Live from the Black Site on the next record. Did I just send? I think I put it in the Dropbox. Did I not?
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking at it now. I'm opening it up.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is called The Dust of Better Days. SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watched them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. Is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be saved, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wait. Stopped your daughter today.
her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We're not meant to wait. Feds arrived and had to detain. Said you'd made some posts, they weren't changed. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name, or life before they had you contained, or life before they had you contained. SWAT team took your neighbor today.
Dude, what? Bro. All right. What? It was amazing. Holy shit, that slapped. Okay.
Thank you.
That's an American anthem for 2023.
I was trying to think of like what's the most like
welfare
trials of a shit lib kind of thing, you know? Especially like I really wanted, okay, how could someone justify the police officer like pepper spraying their daughter during like a traffic stop? Like, absolutely, I'm sure people could. Like, well, she must have mouthed off. She must have said so, you know?
Those bootlickers are everywhere.
It's way
bro.
too easy for us to justify that kind of shit.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, just like how calmly it's pepper spraying their daughter twice in the face. Like, holy shit! Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, this is, you know, that's basically like The Talk. You know, I think you can rename that The Talk.
Yeah, no shit.
God damn, the dust of better days. Oh my god, there's that punch in the face. Jesus.
All right, you know what? Let's do another new one. Let's do another little spoiler. I promised the chat in Hardlands today that I was going to debut a new song. It'll just be asterisk new, like still unreleased. It just won't be like the first performance. But this is one of those. Sometimes I write something and it's really topical, and I hate to wait until I get the whole album finished to get it out there, you know? So by God, I'm not going to do that.
So what do we got? Like Blood Badge, or we got well, that's spoken word.
Let me drop this here. Okay. So this is another new song for the next record that I just, and apologies to Cynic, because that's going to be two songs that she's not heard the actual song. She's just heard the lyrics for. Normally she gets a sneak peek before most people, but let me see. Drive. Okay. I'm dropping it in the folder for you now. Hoping that these lyrics actually reflect the final product. So yeah, I'd written a piece mostly about Lahaina, and it's like, unfortunate truth is that's, you know, there's going to be a whole bunch of new tragedies to try to distract people and take people's minds off of what happened there, and what it's pretty apparent that we did there.
Somebody did there.
So in the interest of that,
that was not climate change, everybody. Just in case anybody was still wondering and still trying to, say, look, climate change is absolutely real and is absolutely a problem, but that is not necessarily what happened here. You had the emergency manager that resigned. There's a lot of crap. You know, you go back and watch a lot of what Pasta was doing on Convo, and yeah, there's, you know, again, shout out to Crab, Big Man Crab, and Chris were covering it, and I know you guys did a long stream about and watched a lot of Lahaina stuff. That was really, it was heartbreaking. I mean, and again, some of these interviews with Jeremy Lafredo over at the Gray Zone. Shout out to Jeremy. Anyone that's really doing, you know, still covering this and not letting anybody forget about this. It's so important. You know, this is what they count on, are these constant, you know, squirrel news cycles that nobody can concentrate. And East Palestine is still poisoned, folks. Joe still won't go there. Joe still won't acknowledge it. They just, I think, declared some kind of federal disaster area to get money, but they're not giving money to the resident. It's like less than the $700 that they're giving to the Lahaina residents. It's like, here's your life. It's worth less than $500. It's like, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Need to keep Lahaina in top of mind. Yeah, absolutely, man. Look at that little Bread and Circuses logo, adorbs. All right, I got it up.
Right. This is called The Kings of Colony.
What you're following, that's idolatry, that's just fake. And all that wallowing that you tolerate, that's not fair. The kings of colony watched autonomy make our grave. The kings of colony know no policy, only rain. Now once you fall asleep, it won't bother you what they say. But the kings of colony, while they slaughter, they still complain. Then we say, please color me, still too solemnly, still too plain. All hail economy, praise the pharmacy, seas in flames.
They're buying up Hawaii, and the smoke's not even cleared. Those vultures smelled the fire, and an enterprise appeared. Investment opportunities where melted down communities leave vacant space BlackRock has been lusting for years. The council meets in private, they don't discuss survivors. Concerns among construction groups are all Lahaina hears. They'll wander through your city with this mocking sort of pity next to Oprah and her camera crew who tore the Trail of Tears, where footage flows as freely as the stream of liquid steel and the pools of pure aluminum that trickle down your wheels. And Biden's come to say he knows exactly how it feels, cause he had a kitchen fire once and had to miss a meal. And people still believe that piece of shit deserves your vote, like he's not why supplies are being smuggled in by boat, like he's not why our citizens were forced to stay and roast. And he can't unfreeze your funding, folks, cause Azov needs it most. I'll bet my every dollar Biden watched it with a smile. I'll bet he knows the whereabouts of every missing child. He's just the kind of man who lives to trample something tribal, collecting culture's corpses just to throw them on the pile. Like he and all his buddies didn't dream about the day when those who dared defy the donor class are cleared away, when home insurance cripples and you can't afford to stay, and your land falls to the hands of those whose windfall fan the flames. The state will take Lahaina, they'll bastardize its name, and tourism will swarm it all the same. See, the state we left Lahaina shows the ground rules of the game, the planes that in the night ignite the planes. And if questions raised that reckon the potential use of lasers, I suggest you take a closer shave by way of Occam's razor. And if those civilians stood between this country and its gains, there's really nothing further to explain. Because you may know this already, but if you truly know our past, this ain't the first occasion and it will not be the last, when Americans are kettled in and made to bear the blast, barricaded in and left for ash. See how many in Lahaina now are lying there awake, and they still can hear the city we left leveled in our wake. They still hear all the people that we let the fire take, instructed by police to stay in place. So look to the horizon, cause a fire comes for you. Desire made incarnate of the power-hungry few who've instructed the police to not let anybody through, to barricade them in, and so they do. That's Kings of Colony.
Oh man, somebody's got to send that to Tulsi Gabbard. Holy shit. Bro, she was like, wow.
Whew. Got a sweats on that one.
Ooh, dude, I think I'm sweating on that one. That is you hooking, cranking. Holy wow. Yeah. Like there's so much so much to unpack there. Wait till everybody sees the lyrics to these, and it's just I'm reading these as you're about to say them. I'm just like, when your home insurance triples and you can't afford to stay, and your land falls to the hands of those whose windfall fanned the flames, and the state will take Lahaina and they'll bastardize its name, and tourism will swarm it all the same. Like, dude. That's all I can say.
I gotta give a shout out to Crab, because being on with him and talking about this, I used the Occam's razor example. That ended up becoming my favorite line in this. Maybe one of my favorite lines in a long time was if questions raised that reckon the potential use of lasers, I suggest you take a closer shave by way of Occam's razor. And if those civilians stood between this country and its gains, then there's really nothing further to explain. Right. Kind of, if I had to sum up my whole opinion on it, you know. Yeah, if you know what we've been willing to do before to our citizens, you know, it doesn't come as a shock to you, but it should. The fact that these are Americans, like I really tried to drive that home, that these were American citizens that this happened to. This is at this point any of us, and you shouldn't have to say this could happen to you, this might happen to you, to get people to give a shit. But that's how it is, you know. But this is very much like, if they're on the chopping block, if they want your land, they will fucking take your land by whatever means necessary. That's never been a doubt. So,
yeah, that dude, that hurts. It hurts to read. Like so Gregory Walker, by the way, thank you over on the Rockfin, tip $2 and then another $5. Said, Jesse, where's that diss track for Oliver Anthony? Did you check out the AC alone? The diss track for Oliver Anthony is on the INN YouTube channel. I believe it's in a playlist of Jesse Jett assorted clips. And it's definitely, if you just go to the videos section of what was uploaded under INN, you should be able to see that in the history. I did put out,
which I'll have to record those. I'll have to kind of tweak those a little bit musically and record them sometime. But yeah, once I started writing, I finished this song right after that, and then that was kind of the last piece for everything.
I mean, welfare just goes so hard, and then Outsource. Look, Outsource. People sleep on Outsource because welfare just kind of got a lot of the play because of the name, I think. But you know, I thought that as far as like a Utah Phillips type of real protest rebel gritty, that kind of was what I like. To me, I felt like Outsource spoke to that even much more than Welfare did. Welfare was just punching that dude back in the mouth, whereas Outsource was like I'm going to take what you were doing and actually capture the essence of what it is to have that kind of struggle, and not have it written by who knows who, but have it written by a guy that knows it.
Yeah.
Sick,
all right, well,
man.
let's do that. Let's do Outsource real quick.
Burning Anthony. Oh my God, you just killed me, Comrade Anthony. Holy shit.
Oh shit.
Burning Anthony. Holy crap.
Tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. There's a song I wasn't sure whether I could tackle tonight vocally. I think I can, but I'm gonna drop Outsource down in order to make that happen after this.
Nice.
So here's like the George Strait version of Outsource.
My granddad was a miner mighty long ago in Butte, who spent his whole life scraping by who left his boots. And someone bought his bosses out and he'd outlived his use. Oh, they trimmed the wage and they hired someone new. And he learned that's what job creators do. Walking through the heart of town, I see my daddy's shop that he shut down when the superstore got put in down the block. And he didn't have a lot of choice to work there all the same. For half of what he made, he had into his name. He told me that's the way it is, that's business through. And he told me that's what job creators do. Well, I watched a lot of poverty start blooming in this town, and I seen too many families out sleeping on the ground. When I offered help, I got harassed by Sheriff Brown as he grit that kind of grin that said, I'd love to put you down. But if I owned a mine and I enslaved them for a crew, I bet he'd call me a job creator too. They'll tell you that 1,000 miles are hungry for your bread. They'll say that to succeed you need to step on people's heads. Those suckers might be starving, but it's better them than you. They'll tell you that's what job creators do.
That's Outsource.
And once again, internet not being perfectly friendly, but we got through it. It's the first verse, especially. It was a little choppy, but so yeah, sub Johnny Cash. Sean thinks that sounded more like Johnny Cash. Gregory over the Rockfin, America, fuck yeah, that's Gregory. Hell yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can do this. I can't drop this one any lower without changing the whole tuning on the guitar. It's a whole thing. So we're just gonna rip it. You guys have seen me butcher stuff before. We all remember Ave Maria. This song,
one day
which I'm coming back for a victory lap on that. Don't worry, Christmas is coming.
When Jesse pisses me off one day, I'll put that as a single. He's like, dude, don't do that.
That's the blackmail, just locked and loaded. Oh my god!
Oh, it's all set up, dude. I have it set up and like it's sitting there as a draft, unpublished. You're like, and I just got a thumbnail, and I said something. You're like, do you want to do like, dude, fucking burn that? I was like, all right,
right. I did. Okay. This song is old as dirt. This song this summer turned 18. This song is old enough to vote, and now I'm wise enough to tell it that's not in its best interest. But yeah, this was my go-to. If I had a gig, 15-year-old Jesse was playing a show. This was my headliner track. This is called I Swear. Last night I kissed you like I always do, 'cause you'd sworn that you'd grown tired. But show me where to burn you, and you know I'd start the fire. 'Cause I don't paint you guilty, so stop acting like I taunt you. But let go of me now,
that you hear every night without me? Or do you only doubt me when I'm there? Is it the way you kiss? Is it gonna burn down all my bridges at the time this feeling switches to despair? Ooh, I swear. Well, the one thing worse than leaving tonight would be to leave in anger. So look around this room and you won't find weight or anger. So I don't expect you to stay here, so stop acting like I thrill you. But let go of my hand and I swear every song on the radio will kill you. Or is it what I said that you hear every night without me? Or do you only doubt me when I'm there? Is it the way you kiss that's gonna burn down all my bridges at the time this feeling switches to despair? She said I never loved you, but it feels wrong to leave you. And I told her you don't have to go just yet. She said I won't feel better, cause this love that I remember only feels right when I forgot. So is it what I said that you hear every night without me? Or do you only doubt me when I'm there? Was it the way you kiss that's gonna burn down all my bridges at the time this feeling switches to despair? Will I swear? I swear. Will I swear? I swear.
Oh God. I'm trying to remember the last time I played that song. It's probably been like 8 years or something ridiculous. Like before my son was born was the last time I played that song.
Okay, you wrote that in high school?
Yeah, about 15, yeah.
What? Okay, what? What? Dude, that slaps. Dude, old man, everybody's like, holy shit, look at that. Dude, Gregory Walker, that shit was John Blaze. Old man, I'm standing at the bus stop, tapping my feet, like, dude, we gotta record that smooth and put that out. Oh my God, that's so
I love you guys
rich.
so much. Seriously, I can't tell you, like,
20 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy that, like, it's, again, I think I say it every show, but here we are, a Tuesday night, late Tuesday night, and we got like 26 people in YouTube alone hanging out. You guys mean the world to me. You really do. Like, having a place to do this and people that are like as genuine as you guys are, I couldn't ask for more. I really couldn't. So yeah, thank you. Seriously, thank you.
Holy shit. We still have Jesse Jett and the Return of the Cursed Child sitting here. I know Medallion.
Oh, the Cursed Medallion. Let's do that. Yeah, let's close on okay, so what's the fucking not conviction convention on inauguration gift? The one that starts with Joe Biden, you know, that's the secret.
Secret. 100,
there's a line in that. There was a line in that I was gonna do a whole like concept song around, the whole like sister piece too, and just never got around to it. But it fit after all this time. So the line in convention is I'm here to tell you the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions. And I loved the idea of fleshing that out and having it be like there was some like fucking cursed artifact that we got our hands on that had this fucking horrible evil power, and we broke it up into pieces and gave one to a bunch of different politicians, and it's prolonged the life of people like Strom Thurmond and Henry Kissinger, one's in Dick Cheney's pacemaker, you know, shit like that.
Nancy Pelosi, yes, it's in her
I never
martini.
fleshed that out. Exactly. And so so then the other day I was like, you know what? I should totally, like, now is the time to do the kind of follow-up piece. So the subtitle for convention was Jesse Jett in the Case of the Cursed Medallion. So not to step out of the like Sherlock Holmes episode title theme. This is called Jesse Jett and the Return of the Cursed Medallion.
It's very much a Hardy Boys type of title to me.
Carved upon a marble altar, somewhere in a lab, are runes that match an amulet upon an onyx slab. Doctor in a white coat, guards in olive drab. Kissinger unconscious, but as Providence would have, when the doctor stands beside him and he holds out the medallion, unconsciously, instinctively, he reaches up and grabs. Deep inside a black site that is right beneath our streets, the sacrifice was made by which they demonized our speech. The roots that fed the tree of life decayed beneath our feet, and its sap was a suspension for a small medallion piece. As the doctor starts to sway a bit, he takes the vial and places it inside of Cheney's heart that it might never cease to beat. And I wish it wasn't so, but no, the final piece to mention is the one that fueled our overlord's unholiest ascension, that affords him zero comment on the char and the distension on the bodies in Lahaina, or the growing sickly stench of every Black Rock vulture gathered for what Biden paid as rent on the medallion shard they gave him on the eve of the convention. He'd seen its strength extend the life of all his favorite vermin, and the peace that he inherited had come from Father Thurmond, another artifact he had been gifted by the Germans to see one's will made manifest, one's destiny determined. A note attached read all our best, Werner, Fritz, and Hermann. May you marinate in Wehrmacht that ferments behind the curtains. Now here we are today, and Biden keeps it on his person, if Biden's what you'd even call a person. The curse is something ancient. It's a raw abortifacient that they shoveled down the throats of those who built and birthed a nation. It is fused into those corpses, funding war on all occasions, and it's all that's keeping Feinstein from a state of vegetation. It is carried by the Senate doctors, whispered by the nurses. It's a perk to keep you perky for your centuries of service. It's the concentrated evil that's been powering our purges, coaxing every coup along, the dogs and drones and dirges. The nations we have raped because they would not consent to purchase. It pries our leaders' eyes awake and drives our country's urges to the darkest point where human hope and human truth converges. So look in Biden's eyes and see the rush on which he surges is the same that lit the flame that burned your churches. And those flames have had their day to see the vessels burned away, but the medallion unscathed always emerges. For as election season licks its lips and smells its purpose, there at once appears a motorcade of hearses. The calling of the pit like a liturgical insurgent skinning off a sermon from the verses. He clutches a medallion of which he is just a servant, falling down a path with no divergence. Now some people wonder loudly just how low a man can go. Well, somewhere in a lab they've logged effects of pure immersion. How long can someone lay upon that ancient onyx slab before rising up a wholly different person? How blackened can one be within the ink of human greed before their voters start to see a different version? How corrupted from within before you see it in their skin? How blighted till it rises to the surface? Till it bleeds into your eyes, or you stand from time to time staring off into the press like they were comets in the skies? How long until your arteries start clogging up with flies? How long till child labor phantoms haunt you in the night? How long has the medallion been deciding who survives? And how long till it demands a higher price? That's a wrap. Jesse Jett and the Cursed Medallion.
So I have two things. First off, the first thing I was thinking as you're saying this is my precious. All right.
Let's see if we get Turncoat Don to do that with McConnell. Do some face swap.
And the second thing is you're talking about how blackened can one be with the ink of human greed before their voters start to see a different version? Was there in for AOC? I mean, it feels like that was literally written about her.
Right.
Damn. Like,
yeah, no, I mean,
how soon till her voters see a different version? Like, literally, New York Magazine and the fucking New York Times have to write an article like, hey, guys, she's a fucking neolib now.
Yep. Exactly.
Wow. Head exploded. Dude. Yeah, that, again, Jesse Jett and the Return of the Cursed Medallion. I do love the idea of writing some kind of a fictional story like that. How we, where like some kind of a short story or some kind of published thing.
Yeah.
And it almost makes me like.
Oh, I know that's one of those things I like. It needs to be either a short film or like somebody that could do a comic book, because I was about to say comic book. One of those pieces I very much visualize the same way, like with La Mort Bohème. Like I can see Kissinger laying there and reaching up, his life, his body just kind of reaching out for this thing. Like all of that had such, like, I really wish I could I had some sort of visual art form, because I don't.
And like the minute it leaves his hand, you
can
see his
that's one I would love to have a video
shit.
For. Right. If I wasn't morally opposed to AI on a lot of different grounds, I would be like, let's just fucking let the computers make this one. Let's punt this one over to the machines.
Oh man,
we all know the tragic end result of that.
Yeah, that's right. Chris is saying over in the chat that we could use the karaoke style ball to bounce over the words when you're doing that. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Laura Boz over on the Rockfin. Good to see everybody over there. Rockfin.com/INN. You can watch this whole thing ad commercial free if you don't have YouTube Premium. These assholes just jacked up the price for the family plan on YouTube Premium again. So somehow I had a credit card number expire. They sent me a new card, and the one on my family premium plan for my family, I have two, one for INN, one for my family, that expired. And to get it back,
2 families.
Well, I have INN family, and I have the Andy family, but so $30 now they want for premium family YouTube. That'll give you up to 6 users. It was $11.99, then it was $18.99, then it was $21.99. Now they're up to $29.99. Like, dude, they just keep jacking it. So again, everything is 100% totally free on Rockfin. It looks like they may try to charge you, and you may have to sign up and pay to get on the platform. You don't. Everything that's on my channel and on INN is 100% free. Now, there are certain channels and certain things that are premium. RBN, for example, all their streams are premium, so you have to be a premium paid member to Rockfin in order to be able to see theirs. That's a choice that each creator gets to make. I think there's tremendous value to that platform. I really do. I've been a believer for years, and that's why we're getting close to, I think, 4,000 subscribers over there. It's much bigger actually than YouTube. I mean, nobody really watches over there, but we certainly have a lot of people that get alerts when we go live. And I think that it's done a lot to help build the INN brand on a place that only the censored and only the people that really seem to get bans and strikes and are talking about the most controversial stuff end up. And I'm proud to be there. I really am. So I don't know. Let's see, Jesse. I'm writing down my set list tonight, and I think I'm missing one. I'm gonna have to go back when I edit and start to clip this out. But we started with Scraps and Powder Keg. We did Skin Suits and Echosphere, Supersize, and then I think there might have been something before The Record.
After Supersize,
we do another Grift song. I feel like you might have done a third.
Echosphere and Supersize was it. Then we did an Airplane Mode.
The Record. Okay. Then we did the Dust of Better Days,
Yeah.
which was insanely ridiculous.
Outsource. I threw in Outsource.
Outsource, right? That's the one. I knew there was one in there. Outsource. Right. We had the Kings of Colony. Wow.
I know that's a really dated reference, but I Kings of Comedy. I couldn't help it.
See, and I saw it as like the
R.I.P.
Kings of
Bernie
Leon.
Mac.
I saw it as like the Kings of Leon. You know, do we need somebody? And then I swear was, dude, I swear slapped really hard. I'm gonna have to cut that as a single, and then
yeah, let's do it.
All right, and then Return to the Cursed Medallion. So, I think I don't know unless you got something else you want to do tonight.
I didn't have anything locked and loaded. If there's anything anyone's really itching to hear,
Gamer,
we got time. We can probably.
Gamer, you know.
Was there anything someone was like really hoping to hear?
No, but Gamer saying he unsubbed to Slow News Day and he's got issues with Steve, and I'm really sorry to hear that. You know, Steve and I've had our issues over time, and you know, I don't know what to say about Steve other than that. You know, we smoke blunts together, and Steve goes a little hard.
What
sometimes.
can we say about Steve that hasn't already been said?
Right?
You
He
know,
goes a little hard sometimes. Hey, I'll do
Yeah.
my. Well, we covered that about 18 months ago. That's my tribute to Steve. Love you, Steve. So
I will say there are some people that like they say something, I'm kind of like eye roll, and I'll like mute that person, or I'm like, if I don't follow, I don't barely know who it is. I'm like, that's an unfollow. Steve gets a pass on a lot of those. They're like the ratio of times that he's correct, even if he's like not super delicate about it. I can't ignore those. But yeah, there have been times I think everyone goes like, woof. But I also think he knows that's kind of his brand. I don't think that surprises him, you know.
Yeah, well, we call him an acquired
I am
taste.
Also in my own way, I'm certainly an acquired taste as well. There was someone in Hardlands Media Chat the other day that was like, Jesse's politics are spot on. It's a shame his music is so terrible.
Oh no! What? That's really funny.
I was like, hey, you know what? If you're still giving me the saying I'm right, I'll take it. You know, like I obviously I'm not trying to sound super marketable or like you know, early on I made the decision with the virus, like most guys that are doing alternative hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call it are trying to sound a little tougher, a little deeper, and like it's so obvious when I do that. It sounds like I'm a character. And if I'm doing this really sincere music about like worried about losing your job or like what the fuck kind of world is my kid gonna grow up in, it doesn't sound right if I'm doing it like trying to, you know, talk about lying or like putting on my cool white guy, just like
tough guy voice. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it feels super insincere. And so like especially with making this kind of music, I kind of used the Bob Dylan analogy that like he knew he didn't sound like how you're supposed to sound to sell records. Utah Phillips too. He once, when he was getting older, he said, I don't feel like I should be going out and touring because I don't sound so good. And his wife told him, people don't go to hear you sing. They go to hear what you say, you know? And obviously I still try to like have some parts where I sing and kind of do, you know, give people something that's like pleasing to the ears, but I also don't approach every song like, is this gonna be playlist material? Because my lyrics are playlist poison, and I kind of like that. That keeps me honest, you know.
Dude,
as long
I have
as
a
I'm
playlist
making
of
stuff
exclusively
that
Jesse stuff. So
that doesn't sound like it's made for a fucking Kia commercial or like ready to roll on whatever, you know. That's how you know I'm not trying to please the kind of people that my message goes directly against. So as soon as I start doing that, then you'll know that I sold out. That's when I'm not. There you go. I did once tag when I released Inauguration Gift. I tagged Camry, I tagged Lockheed Martin, OnlyFans, and Coors Light.
that's so awesome. Just Balls.
Nobody
Yep.
retweeted it, believe that or not.
Well, thank you for the tip, Laura, over on the Rockfins. Gregory Walker, go back. You can rewind on Rockfin also, so you can go back when we're done and listen to Supersize. It was fire. It was so good. I like the one called Apple. Oh, that's Apple Model 3 slave collar. Laura's asking for. She dropped in a thing. Yeah, Steve. He's a likable guy and he's a music guru, a member of the cult. And Steve, when he speaks, Steve has spoken. Oh boy, yep, you're a lyricist, right? Exactly. When nothing wrong like Willie Nelson. Wow.
Right.
To throw out a name like that, legend like that. Oof. Yeah. Willie's amazing. So I got to, for everyone, I got to go see Jimmy Dore perform live, stand up and meet him and shake his hand and talk to him for a couple seconds. That was a lot of fun. Maybe one of these days we'll see Jesse on a Jimmy Dore show. That would be like the greatest shit ever. With Misty and INN, and I feel like we're getting closer to that day at some point when Jimmy is going to discover Jesse and be like, fuck, man, where the hell, dude, we've been sleeping on this guy.
Where's this guy been all my life?
Dude, like, where's this guy been? Like, no, for real. I actually did get to meet Russell also, Sean. He's funny enough. Right before the Jimmy show in New York City, I drove in and I met Big Bad Crab at some diner in New York around the corner from the theater, and Russ was there and Jose Vega was there and all of Keaton's family was there and Greg, and we just kind of sat around, and Greg had an egg cream for the first time, which was really kind of weird. You live in New York in that area, you never even know what. Oh, okay, anyway. But yeah, I mean, look, I love all the people in the space. Anyone wants to have me on the show, happy to go on. I'm just happy to be producing and in the space and sharing everybody's stuff and a member of a community. And JB had me on today. It was an honor to be invited. And I know Jesse gets invited to go on stuff all the time. And it's just, so cool that we've got fams that recognize what, and brings people from the chat, from the fan base. This is where I came from. Look, guys, every single person that's in this chat, 3 years ago, I was exactly where you are. I was a fan. I was watching. I made nothing other than make like a newsletter where I was just set up some RSS feeds and put up a website. Like, I wasn't doing any of this stuff. This is doable. Everyone who's got a voice, everyone who wants to do this, try. Get some equipment. I know equipment, computer stuff's not easy, and it's not exactly the easiest, but if you've got a passion, look, Rob Durden literally just turns on his phone, records into his phone, and then uploads it to his YouTube, Rockfin, and Rumble, and it's literally that easy. You got something to say it into the camera, and send it out there, and it's amazing what'll happen, and who you'll meet, and this guy is testament to all of that, and the fact that I'm sitting here hosting a show for him is seriously. Thank you to all of you, and inspiring.
I'm trying to remember what the piano chords are for Apple Model 3 slave collar.
It's so much better than the Tesla X Elite. It knocks you off your feet like your booster every 7th week. I'm not even reading that. That's how much I listen to this stuff. Like, it's literally coming off my head. Thank you, Charlie Mack. Love you, man. You're the best.
All right, let's just wing it. Fuck it, we're doing it live. We got a request for it. We're doing it. Welcome to the future. Shit where you please. The Wi-Fi's killer, but there's no more bees, so there's hardly any flowers. There are very few trees, and you'll pay $1,000 for some honey for your tea. But we got these awesome collars. Mine's an Apple Model 3. It allows for better movement than the Tesla X Elite. It lets you customize the ads that it implants in every dream, and for premium subscribers doesn't shock you in your sleep. But it doesn't stop there. It can analyze your speech, and if it hears disinformation, then it notifies police. It's a swift re-education, but it knocks you off your feet like your booster every 7th week.
You see, I face the future boldly with 2 eager open eyes, and I picked a couple nuggets up that blew my fucking mind, like you can taxidermy someone while they're technically alive, and they'll shine when it's election time. Because the vote because your Democratic voter base will pay them zero, and never mind if voting for that scarecrow is a vote along their party line. They could stare into its marble eyes and claim there's something dignified. Unlike real politicians, this one doesn't need an oxygen or kit supply. But its function is the same as those who came before. The goals are never misaligned. It still spends all its working time performing pre-recorded fleecing sessions where it sugarcoats your slow and hungry genocide, while pouring billions into Nazi coffers, all the while selling you the story that we're moments till the MiGs arrive. So fucking ask Zelensky if he'll help replace your leaded pipes. Watch a fleet of Penske show, stacks of bills in every size. God, I guess it only took a black sun and a couple hiles. Honorary goose step in some Nazi boots a quarter mile, all while Biden sneers his sordid smile. I don't know what was in this morning's vial, but it makes him stare 1,000 yards through all the prompters and the cards like he can smell the nearest child. His eyes are wide and wild, wider than the grave in which another 1,000 families were tossed in as I typed till they rose up to the sky unceremoniously piled. Which sort of flies right in the face of all this network ticker tape where the American economy has superhuman vitals. You see, I like to think my trial's gonna play like a recital. I'll denounce the world around me and accuse the most entitled, who weaponize their titles, whose pull is something tidal, who would starve us all to death to best delight their blinded idol. So they might destroy the record, and I will never get to vinyl. So my word is not immortal, but it's final. Apple Model 3 slave collar.
All right, we got through it.
Which, fun fact, if you try to type that song title into Twitter, it will hide it and views it as
hate speech.
Sensitive
hate speech.
Tweet. Yeah, slave collar. Which, so Elon's going to have to call it something else, basically, or change his own TOS.
Well, he's the Tesla X Elite, so he actually look the way he blocks Substack links. He'd love to block out the Apple Model 3 slave collar and make everybody get the Tesla X Elite. The piece of shit. Yeah, dude, that was fire.
Oh shit!
It's just so dystopian. Right. You'll pay $1,000 for some honey for your tea. Dude. So,
I really went back and forth. I almost didn't open it with "Welcome to the Future," shit where you please, but I also like, why not? It's one of those, sometimes I come up with something and even though I like kind of shoot it down, I also like, I mean, it came to me. I can't abandon it.
Have to use it, right?
I can't exactly, like
that's art.
I can't
right?
throw you to the wayside.
That's how art works. You can't. No. All right. So we're coming up on almost 2 hours for tonight. That's a good sized show for us. So we now technically I think our rotation would have us back next week, but we'll see. I don't know if we'll be back next week, 2 weeks. We'll see how everybody feels and flows. My son's having a birthday this week on Friday, so I'm kind of excited for that. And he's kindergarten now. Oh my God, I got 3 kids in public school. Holy shit.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you're telling me mine just got into 1st grade, and it's like, yeah, it's nuts. It's
the homework, and now they're getting Chromebooks.
Not there.
And it's like, wow.
Oh, jeez.
See, and it's funny. I sent Jesse a picture, and my wife took a picture of well, actually, the other day, my son is sitting at this little. We have a little kid-sized IKEA round green table, and he's got his little Chromebook. And he's sitting and he's studying and he's doing like 5th grade level like words and spelling for a kindergartner. And I took a picture and I sent it to to Jesse and I said, my boy looks just like me. Something about cats and cradles, and holy shit, man. Like it just, dude, what? And then this morning, my wife came downstairs and he's sitting at the kitchen table reading a book just quietly. And she's like, oh my God, look at my big kid. Like this. Wow. It happens overnight, man. You go from having these little dependent creatures to now he's punching and going, no, I want space. And it's like,
oh no.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yep, Sean, I feel you.
Mine, I'm happy to announce, is a 90s sitcom kid. We put on an episode of Full House last week, just kind of for nostalgia's sake, and he was like hooked. And all of a sudden he's like, well, I want to watch another. And next thing you know, it's like he will laugh his ass off over just the most random jokes on this show. And then he'll do this little chuckle to himself. He'll be like, Michelle. He'll go, oh, Joey. Oh my gosh. Just like to himself. Like, it's just so good.
Wow.
And, these are classic sitcom values being passed down to him. So
I actually played Parents Just Don't Understand for my kids in the car. We were on our way to Kevin, and it comes on the radio, and I'm literally doing the, I know this since I'm a kid. I'm doing and I'm looking at them, and I'm mouthing the stuff, and it's a little, taking the car and stealing the parents' car is one thing, but they got the whole thing about taking them out for buying school shopping and the school clothes and how it's embarrassing, and they just got it, and it was really funny. And then they tried to refer back to it later. My wife, it's just, we got old real fast. What happened? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, wait till he sees Urkel. That's right, Charlie. Like, did I do that? Oh my God. Too much. All right, everyone.
But what's funny is he's so used to animated stuff and asking who did this person's voice? Who voiced this character? So when he wants to be like, what's this actor's name? He'll just be like, who did his voice? I'm like, well, that's Bob Saget. And that was a real person.
Oh yes,
those are people. He did the pretending to be other people, but
that's Bob. He did the Aristocrats. I can't play that for you, not yet, at least.
And which, if anybody hasn't, Bob Saget's episode of Hot Ones and Stamos's as well, they are required viewing. R.I.P. Bob.
R.I.P. Bob. That he did a 1 hour stand-up HBO special that is one of my favorite hours of comedy of all time. I just
Yep. My God, the joke he tells in that, if this is the bit, or maybe it was a Netflix special, he tells such a fantastic joke. And why not close the show out with it? A guy walks into a brothel and goes up to the front counter. And he says, hey, I only got $1. What can you do for me? The guy behind the counter says, well, go down the hallway, take a left. Hang out in that room for a minute. I promise you'll be satisfied. So guy goes down the hallway, takes a left, goes into the room, hangs out for a minute, waits. And a tiny little door opens up by the bed, and a chicken walks into the room. So the guy does his business with the chicken. Chicken is disgusted, and the guy goes home. Well, he comes back the next day, and he comes up to the counter. He says, I decided I'm not happy with how yesterday went, and I'd like my $1 back. And the guy laughs. He goes, tell you what. He goes, go down the hallway. Take a right this time. I promise you're going to love it. So guy goes down the hall. And he takes a right. And he walks into this room, and there's about 15 guys all sitting in a circle in these folding chairs watching a projector screen film of an orgy. They're all wearing raincoats. And there's a raincoat folded on the table. So he puts it on. He sits down. He starts watching. And after a few minutes, he turns to the guy next to him. He goes, wow, this is really something, isn't it? The guy goes, oh, this is nothing. Yesterday, this guy fucked a chicken.
Oh, man. Yep. You became the star.
Straight from Bob Saget, everybody.
Oh my God. He does in his stand-up special, he does a song called Danny Tanner Was Not Gay to the Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way.
Of course he does.
And Tell Me Why. They lived in San Francisco. Tell me why. They went through lots of Crisco. Tell me why I never slept with Dave Coulier. Timmy Gibbler got it that way.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, dude, I miss that guy.
Bob's
what a lunatic.
sense of humor. Just what's great is when John Stamos just did his episode of Hot Ones fairly recently. So obviously it's after Bob has passed. And at one point when he finally tries the bomb, which is arguably the hottest sauce in their lineup, and he's just struggling, and he comes up from the table and he goes, "That's the one that killed Saget," and points to the bomb. And the host is a little taken aback, and he goes, "He would have loved that." And he's so right. Like, it absolutely is like Bob Saget's spirit made him make this joke and just really wake the host up. But it
just
so
came right out.
on.
Yep,
It's
that
like,
was Bob's words coming right out of Jesse's mouth.
Bob Saget just smiling down from comedy heaven right now on
Uncle
you.
Jesse.
It was so beautiful. Like, I literally teared up. I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful."
The other one that's really funny, he tells a story about him and John Stamos. Like, they saw a car accident during something by the Hollywood lot, and they go to grab someone out of their car because they had just been shaken up. He's like, "Could you imagine, like, you're knocked unconscious, and the first thing you do when you look up is you see my face and John Stamos. And did you think I'm in sitcom hell?" Dude, that dude was so brilliant. I mean, dirty as hell and inappropriate beyond belief and flawed as you wouldn't believe, but man, was he funny. Holy shit, was he funny.
Yep.
Yeah. They flagged what? What'd they flag? Oh no. Oh, the Bob Saget. Oh, had a fact check. Yes. He had cancer, medical illness. I didn't know what happened to Bob, but the other one that speaking of Bob, Robert Schimmel is another comedian. If you remember back, he died, I don't know, early 2000s. He was on Howard Stern quite a few times. He is another one very similar to a Bob Saget type. All these comedians that we've lost over the years. Reef and I are huge comedy fans. We watched Two Bears, One Cave with Bert and Tom, and we watched Kill Tony, which is basically you get 1 minute stand up on stage, and now it's filmed at the comedy mothership, Joe Rogan's club, and it's it's really cool. Reef totally got me into that. No, go.
Someone in the chat mentioned Jodie Sweetin is a lefty, Stephanie Tanner, and yes, if some of you remember George Floyd protests, she was with this group under an overpass that got kettled, and riot cops threw Jodie Sweetin like 12 feet into a fucking barricade, like grabbed her and just lobbed her.
Whoa.
And then she got up and got right back up in their faces. It was like, okay, Jodie Sweetin's a real one. Noted.
Nice. How about that? So yeah, tomorrow night on INN, we're going to have INN News at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Bread and Circuses with Chris. You saw him in chat earlier, Bread and Circuses. And that'll be also on INN, but also I think we're going to run it on his channel too. I don't know if it's set up yet, but he set up a brand new channel for Bread and Circuses. Friday afternoon, we're going to have Angel in the Afternoon. Tara is not going to do a show on Friday. She's actually right now in Vladivostok at the Eastern Economic Conference, and she'll be flying back to Moscow on Friday, so it's going to interfere with her time. We may end up doing a pre-record maybe over the weekend or something and putting that out. Okay. Misty, I don't know what's going to happen with Bitch this weekend. She's been doing more, spending time with the family and kids. She got back to school stuff happening. Sunday night, we are going to do another Nobody Wants to Work Anymore. I love doing that show, Snow Himbo. By the way, everyone, welcome Snow Himbo to INN officially. This week, we did kind of punch him on the show, punch him on the arm, and be like, all right, you're in, you're here. Come on in, and he's part of FAMS.
One of us.
He will gobble. That's right. So Sunday nights, while nobody, how do we miss that, is off for the month of September. Himbo and I do pre-records during the week of Nobody Wants to Work Anymore, and then I'm running that Sunday night. I started at 10:30 because I noticed that Due Dissidence seems to run past 10, and really nobody watches until they're done anyway. So I'm just going to time it so that when they're done, we'll be going live, and it's within a couple minutes of overlap, and it seemed to work pretty well. I also loop it because of the way that we pre-recorded, the way our software works, I can actually have it replay as soon as it's done. So if you miss the beginning because you were watching Due Dissonance, stick around at the end and it'll loop and it'll play the beginning again so you can catch back up to whatever you might have missed. And that's one of the reasons for doing it. Plus, some people just, they catch up starting at midnight and they'll watch midnight to 1:30 instead of from, or, you know, 11:30 to 1, I guess it would be. So, yeah, I really I love doing this every day. I wish we made some more money doing it or some money doing it. That would be nice. So I didn't have to look for a job.
Hey, we got 2 super chats tonight.
Yeah, we did. We got 2
of our man Sean Miller.
We also got some Rockfin money tonight. Thank you. Gregory hooked us up tonight, and who else? And who else? Laura, thank you so much. Really. No, that's funny. When you said honey, honey for the tea, Gregory Walker said, "Oh my God, I just put honey in my shroom tea." That's really funny. And then, and of course, when we started saying Saget, he said, "I used to suck dick for coke, man. Ever suck dick for some weed?" Now that was an addiction. Boo this man. Boo, dude. I love that. Half baked. Yeah, Woody. See what Woody did. Oh, so good.
Next episode, I'm going to try to get adequate lighting out to my garage so I can do the episode from my car. Because I am going to have to get rid of my vehicle, and that's the car that I wrote and recorded and produced The Virus, Inauguration Gift, War Crime Jams, The Coming of Spring, Radio Silence, all in. That was the studio until I started doing from Co-opt and Grift on was down here
in the basement.
But it was all in the car in the beginning. Got some leaks in my power.
I can't tell if he's laughing or crying. That was in the car, right?
Yep.
That's the greatest comment you've ever gotten.
I got leak in the power steering that's going to be at least $2,000 to fix, and honestly the car is only worth like $1,500, so it's just not cost effective for me to sink that money into it. So I'm cleaning it up and I'm going to try to find someone that wants to have a project car or something. I don't know, trying to find someone who's interested in it. So I thought it would be fun bringing out the extension cord, rigging up some fucking Christmas lights in my car, and doing kind of a farewell show, play like Town Hall and a couple, some of the things that started it all. It's a 2005 Envoy, about 150,000 miles on it. Engine still, other than a couple power steering line leaks, engine still good, transmission still good. So I would think around here, especially since it's 4-wheel drive, that someone would be able to, willing to take it on. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So like, you know what, we got to do a show from the car. If we can make it happen, I'm going to try to rig it up and make it work. So
it's a recording studio.
It'd be great if I could find someone that was a musician.
You know what you should do? You should market it as a recording studio. You shouldn't market it as a car. You should market it as a recording studio.
Potentially mobile, needs some work on the mobility, but great little soundproof recording. Yeah, exactly. Did I mention it's got a motor?
Right? You can take your recording studio anywhere.
I'll throw in like my old mic and something like that, a couple old things. Like, here's your setup, you're ready to go. But funny. Yeah, it'd be great to find someone that was a musician, or at least politically like-minded, who would give a shit that was where I did that. Like, this is a piece of important history to about 12 people, so please treat it kindly.
Well, it's also got sentimental value. It's worth way more than $1 million to me.
This was the car my wife and I drove home in after our wedding, came home with our son in. It was her car when I met her. Like, it's been with us for a very long time. So
we have an offer here. Sean's saying if you can get out to Washington, he's got a 99 Accord with a V6. I'd give anything to INN fam, dude. That's so nice, man. Wow.
Dude,
damn.
seriously, you're the best. Again, we're really lucky because we seem to, a lot of people gravitate to the network that are just like really, really genuine, good people. Like I said earlier, like the kind of regulars like you guys that are here for the show, just couldn't be a better group of people to field new stuff off of. You know, people that I feel comfortable playing something that I'm only 90% sure I'm not gonna fuck up. You know, that requires an audience that you feel like you can kind of trust fall onto, and you all are that consistently. So I yeah, love you guys.
Yeah, you know, we had an internal network call, a Zoom call on Sunday night. That's like the first time we've really had one in a long time. We had one last Monday. There were a few of us showed up. There were 11 of us on that call, and one of the things we talked about was how we want to grow this channel and whether we want to focus on kind of the hot thing so that we can potentially catch that wave for the algorithm. And our answer was, look, we just want to do stuff we're going to be proud of, and if the algorithm catches it, great. Mm-hmm. And part of it is that we've got that loyal base of people that we're building organically that want to see where we're going and want to go with us. And that's you guys. And without that, you know, Angel, I know wouldn't be making content necessarily. We'd be making it, but literally no one would be watching it. Like when we started this, no one was watching, but little by little, people are figuring out what we're doing, that we've got something to say, but we're going to take certain ways doing it. We're going to do it professionally, and we're going to try to cover it in a way that nobody else is doing it. And I'm real proud of what we're doing here. And I, again, so grateful for everyone for helping to make that happen. It's, you know, my wife, I said earlier on JB's show, my wife's like, another stream tonight? Really? Another meet? Come on. Yes, another one tonight. There are like 9 shows and all these. There's a lot of stuff going on. Come on. Yes. So thank you, sweetheart. I love you. So gotta send the shout out to the wife. But all right. We've been rambling now for like 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut this off and say I love you all, and we'll be back soon. And watch INN News tomorrow night at 9. So, and keep questioning everyone's motivations. But this is Jesse's show, so I'm going to let him say whatever he wants to say out, and then I'll hit the button.
That's about it. Yeah, take care of each other. Stay safe. Drink lots of water. God knows I don't. Don't do drugs unless you're just bored and don't have anything better to do.
Night, everybody.
That's it.
Who are these people?
Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indy. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
At Kennedy News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
It's Politics and Survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?